Have you ever thought to yourself, why do some men look so natural in suits? Effortless, confident, in control. But why do I feel like I'm playing dress up? Am I trying to be something I'm not? Will people notice how uncomfortable I feel? I want to look good in a suit, but is it just not for me? Hey, listen, these are great questions, but the truth is, anyone can look good in a suit. Let's go inside, I'll get settled, and we'll talk about the 5 biggest reasons you look bad in a suit. This video is sponsored by Genesis. Alright, so contrary to popular belief, I did not wake up like this. Or did I? Regardless, the point I want to make, or the myth that I want to dispel, is that some people are made to wear a suit and some people are not. If you feel like you can't wear a suit, or that you don't look good in one, or that you don't feel comfortable in one, I will wager that you are making one, if not all, of the 5 mistakes I'll talk about in this video. And fair warning, the 5th issue I plan to discuss is, let's just say, a little intangible, meaning it's not as easy to just flip the switch with this one, but it is, in my opinion, one of the most important things you need to do to look good in a suit, which is my way of saying, don't skip past number 5. Each section will feature a different suit along with some relevant information, the suit's degree of difficulty to pull off, the season or seasons it will work in, its versatility, and the overall impression that it gives off. And now that I am sufficiently settled in and ready to go, hopefully you are too, let's dive in. Our first suit is a navy hopsack, starting with a heavy hitter because issue number 1 is very important. Degree of difficulty, easy. Season, this is a spring, summer, and fall suit, not great for winter because of the open weave. Versatility is high, wear the full suit or break it into separates. Overall impression, classic, but easygoing. I'm gonna cut right to the chase here and tell you that one of the biggest reasons you do not look good in a suit is because it doesn't fit. Now, while the idea of perfect fit can be a little subjective to a certain degree, there are 8 key areas of fit, 6 for the jacket, 2 for the pants, that you really need to nail to look good in a suit. I'm gonna go through each one of them and show you exactly what to look for, and pay attention because not only are these things foundational to looking good in a suit, but these are things that you can absolutely control. The shoulders. This is one of the most important and critical areas of fit to get right. For a properly fitting jacket shoulder, the shoulder seam should end just before your arm starts to break downward, and the sleeve should follow that line, rolling smoothly down your arm with no creasing or dimpling at the shoulder. If the seam is closer to your neck, the jacket will look too small, and if it extends past your shoulder, the jacket will look too big. Next, let's talk about the jacket collar and lapels. The jacket collar should lay flat against your shirt collar and the back of your neck. There should not be a gap, and if you see this, the jacket does not fit properly. Similarly, the lapels should lay flat against your chest, and one of the most common issues you see with lapels is where they kind of fold up off your chest, and this is a telltale sign that the jacket is too tight. The jacket back. If you see any stress on the seam running down the center of your back, that is a sign that the jacket is too tight. This is relatively common and not the end of the world if it's not too severe, but if you do want that perfect fit, this is something to pay attention to. Next is the jacket closure. When you button your jacket, it should feel comfortable with a little bit of play between the jacket and your body, and there should be no visible bunching of the fabric. It should be smooth around the button and across your body. If you're seeing any bunching up like that, that is a telltale sign that your jacket is too small. Now let's talk about jacket length. This is something that can be a little subjective. However, a good rule of thumb is that the jacket should end at your thumb knuckle. Another way to determine if this is correct is if your arms are hanging straight down when you make a fist, the tips of your fingers should just touch the bottom of the jacket. Another thing to note is that, like a good lawyer, your jacket should always cover your butt. The final jacket fit consideration is the sleeve length. Ideally, the sleeve should end right about at your wrist bone. If it's too high, the sleeve's gonna look too short, and if it's too low, the sleeves will look much too long. Next, we're gonna move on to our pants and 2 specific concerns, starting off with the length. Now, before I talk about what is correct in terms of pant length, let me show you what is incorrect. This is too short, where you're seeing a lot of ankle and sock, and this is too long, where there's a lot of pooling of the fabric down by the ankles. Now, when we start to get into what is the correct or ideal pant length, that's when it gets a little subjective and dependent on your personal style preferences as well as your body type. When we talk about pant length, we use the term break, which refers to the fold or creasing of the fabric above where the pant leg meets your shoe. First, we have the no break. The name speaks for itself. A little more fashion forward, looks best on younger and slimmer guys. Next is the slight break. Here, the pant leg just kisses the top of your shoe with a very slight crease. A good choice if you like the idea of no break, but don't want to be too trendy. Here we have the medium break. It looks classic, looks natural. It's the perfect all-around length for anyone. And finally, the full break. This is classic, old school, only works with wider trousers. Now, once you've decided on the pant length that you prefer, the final consideration with regard to the pants is the width of the leg. Now, the name of the game here is to have everything look proportional, so when you see the outfit as a whole, everything looks cohesive. Here, it is especially important that you pay attention to your particular body type. If you're taller and slimmer, your pant leg can be narrower. If you have broad shoulders or you're just a broader guy in general, the pant leg is going to have to be wider to look correct. And for reference, I am 5'9", currently weighing in at 150 pounds. For my pants, my thigh measurement is 25.5 inches and my leg opening is 15.5 inches. Classic style, modern sensibility. Suit number 2 is a classic gray flannel. Degree of difficulty, easy. Season, this is going to be a fall and winter suit. Versatility is high, again, full suit, but can also be worn as separates. Overall impression, ultra classic. Now, the second reason you do not look good in a suit is what I'm going to call style mismatches. A style mismatch occurs when elements of your suit don't align with your physical characteristics, personal style, or the occasion. This creates a visual disconnect, making you look uncomfortable or out of place. First, let's address body type mismatches. If you're broader with an athletic build and choose an ultra slim suit with narrow lapels, that's gonna look bad. Conversely, if you are slim and pick a boxy cut with wide lapels, you're gonna look like you're drowning in fabric and maybe like you're a little kid wearing your father's suit. The key is to understand your body type and to choose a suit with a cut that complements it. Broader gentlemen typically look better in classic cuts or a modern cut with proper proportions, while slimmer guys can more easily pull off a more closely tailored cut. You have to know yourself, you have to know your body, and you have to be honest about it. Next are color mismatches. You want to choose a suit that is going to work with your complexion. Now, this is a topic that I could make an entire video on, but for the purposes of this one, I'm going to give you some general guidelines for fair, medium, Asian, and dark complexions. Guys with fair skin tones often look best in the following: navy blue suits, which create a flattering contrast without being too harsh; medium to light gray suits. These are softer than charcoal while still providing definition; burgundy or deep green suits, as these can add some warmth and complement cooler undertones. Guys with a medium or olive complexion typically look great in rich browns, which are particularly complementary for golden or olive undertones; a deep navy, which creates a really nice contrast without the harshness; charcoal gray suits, these are going to provide some sophistication with the appropriate amount of contrast; Asian complexions, which can vary, but depending on the specific undertones of your skin, you could go with navy and medium blue, which are universally flattering; charcoal to medium gray, again, sophistication with some contrast; dark browns are also great to enhance the natural warmth of your skin tone; and a deep burgundy complements many Asian skin tones extremely well. Guys with darker complexions and deeper skin tones have a great range of options, so in addition to your classic navies and grays, you could also go with bold colors like a royal blue or deep purple, which can create a very striking and sophisticated look; light gray or tan, beautiful contrast against darker skin; black is also a great option, classic elegance with just a touch of contrast; and also jewel tones like emerald green or ruby red if you want to make a more powerful, more distinctive style statement. So I just want you to remember, as I said, that these are not hard and fast rules, these are just guidelines. Now, another common style mismatch is mixing formality levels inappropriately. A baseball jersey and sneakers with a more formal worsted wool suit, that's pretty obvious. But on a more subtle level, a tweed suit with a French cuff shirt and silk tie, this is also a style mismatch. Understand the type of suit you're wearing and build the rest of your outfit with a level of formality that is appropriate and complementary. And the final style mismatch I want to talk about is ignoring the context or the occasion. The biggest thing here is to understand the dress code and the social expectations of whatever setting you're getting yourself into. That alone will help you avoid the discomfort of being dressed inappropriately. Suit number 3 is a royal blue bird's eye. Degree of difficulty, I'm gonna say moderate. The color might not be for everyone. Season, this can be worn all year round. Versatility is medium. Can't be worn as separates, but because of the color, can be worn for a variety of occasions. Overall impression, classic style, modern sensibility. The third reason you do not look good in a suit is poor maintenance. Now, even the most expensive, the most perfectly tailored suit will look terrible if it's not maintained properly. And because this one is so cut and dry, here are some common maintenance issues that will absolutely ruin ruin your suited look. Wrinkled or creased fabric from poor storage or pure laziness because you don't want to take the time to iron or steam it out. Visible stains, lint, pet hair, or wear. Not suit specific, but shoes that are scuffed or don't match the formality level. Missing buttons or loose threads. Collars and cuffs with visible wear or fraying. Pants with a sagging seat or knees that have lost their shape. Suit jackets that have lost their structure due to improper hanging. Now, make sure you are using wooden hangers and not the metal ones you get from the dry cleaner. All of these maintenance issues, or not paying attention to these maintenance issues, send a clear message that you do not care about your appearance, which completely contradicts the purpose of wearing a suit in the first place. A well-maintained suit shows attention to detail and respect for yourself and those around you, or, as Tom Ford said famously, dressing well is a form of good manners. Suit number 4 is a charcoal herringbone. Degree of difficulty, easy. Season, perennial. Wear it all year. Versatility is medium. Can't be worn as separates, but can work in a variety of settings. Overall impression, classic with a sartorial touch due to the subtle herringbone weave. The fourth reason you don't look good in a suit is accessory problems. Even with a perfectly fitting suit that's well maintained, the wrong accessories can completely undermine your look. Common accessory problems can make or break your suited look, so let's dive deeper into the most frequent mistakes and add several more to be aware of. Tie issues. Your tie is one of the most noticeable elements of your suited look. Here's where problems often occur. A tie that's too wide or too narrow for your lapels. In general, your tie should match the width of your lapel. A poorly knotted tie with visible gaps to your shirt collar. A tie that's too short or too long. Ideally, you want your tie to hit right where the waistband is. A tie pattern that clashes with your suit or shirt pattern. That's going to create a lot of extra visual confusion for people. And then an inappropriate material for your tie with regards to the occasion. So for example, a knit tie at a formal event, don't do that. And then like if you're wearing a tweed suit or a flannel suit, you're not gonna wear a shiny silk tie. Next, let's talk about some footwear failure. Shoes are incredibly important. They speak volumes about your entire look, and these are some details that you should be paying attention to. Your shoes must match the formality level of your suit. Avoid scuffed, worn, or unpolished shoes. That is gonna undermine the crisp appearance of your suited look. And then the incorrect shoe style for the suit that you're wearing. For example, if you're wearing a more formal suit, you do not want to wear a casual loafer. Socks that are too short, which, show your bare leg when you're seated, or socks that are kind of over the top, these statement socks, just don't do that. And on the topic of socks, never wear white athletic socks with your dress shoes. This is an absolute no-go. Next, let's talk about pocket square problems. So this small accessory can create some pretty big issues if you're not paying attention. Things you want to avoid are exact matching of your tie and pocket square. They should complement, not match perfectly. Pocket square that sits too high or too low in your breast pocket, and an overstuffed pocket square that makes your breast pocket bulge out awkwardly. Now remember, accessories should enhance your suited look. They should complement it, not detract from it. When in doubt, you always want to follow the principle of elegant restraint. Better to be slightly understated than to go too far. Suit number 5 is a navy blue suit with a subtle plaid pattern. Degree of difficulty, moderate. Season, this is perennial, can be worn all year round. Versatility is low, not a one-trick pony, but can't really be worn as separates. Overall impression, classic, but intriguing. All right, here we are at the 5th reason why you look bad in a suit. And if you'll recall, this is the issue that is incredibly important, but also the one that is kind of intangible, and that is posture and confidence. Well, posture. Not that intangible. Confidence, we'll talk about that. Posture and confidence are absolutely fundamental and critical in terms of looking good in a suit. In fact, both of these are make or break things in terms of how good you look and feel in a suit, regardless of how well it fits. Now let's talk about posture specifically and how that can absolutely sabotage how good you look in a suit. If you have poor posture, it will completely change how the suit sits on your body. If you slouch your shoulders, that's gonna cause the jacket to bunch up at the back of the neck and create that dreaded collar roll. Also, the chest caves in, making the jacket appear too big and destroying the tailored silhouette the suit was designed to create. Forward head posture will also create that dreaded collar gap. And if you try to overcompensate, like you're a beefy men's style influencer, well, that's gonna make the jacket lapels buckle, giving the impression that your jacket is too tight, even though you look freaking jacked. So it should be pretty easy to see how poor posture affects how a suit looks on you and how you look in a suit. suit. Posture also plays an extremely important role in the realm of confidence. And you may be wondering, how can I feel more confident in a suit? Don't worry, I've got 3 specific things you can do that I guarantee will increase your confidence when you're wearing a suit. So if you feel uncomfortable or insecure wearing a suit, you're going to broadcast that out to the world. Maybe you constantly adjust your tie, tug at your jacket, keep your hands awkwardly positioned because you just don't know what to do with them. All of this fidgeting is telling people that you do not feel comfortable. A lack of confidence could also manifest itself in hesitant movements, taking smaller steps, looking down, avoiding eye contact, crossing your arms. If you do these things, even a perfectly fitting suit will look wrong because you are not owning the space that you are occupying. Now, what makes this particularly challenging is that the combination of poor posture and low confidence creates this vicious cycle. When you don't feel like you look good in a suit, you will unconsciously adopt defensive body language, punching slightly, avoiding confident gestures, moving carefully to avoid drawing attention to yourself. The irony is that confidence and good posture can make even an imperfectly fitted suit look significantly better, while poor posture, as I've noted, and insecurity can make even the most expensive, perfectly tailored suit look terrible. On the first point, from across a room, people are not going to notice if your sleeve length is perfect or if your jacket is a little large in the belly area. What they will notice immediately is how you carry yourself. A man with excellent posture and genuine confidence commands attention and respect regardless of what he's wearing. But a man who looks uncomfortable and uncertain will struggle mightily to make a positive impression, even in the finest and best fitting clothing. This is why posture and confidence aren't just supplemental accessories to a good suit, they are the foundation that everything builds upon. So how can you work on being confident in a suit if it doesn't necessarily come naturally to you? Consider these 3 things. The first is familiarity. Start to build comfort wearing a suit in low pressure situations, maybe even around the house. Like anything, the more you do it, the easier it will get and the more comfortable you'll be. Second, it's all about personal identity. Choose a suit that feels authentic to you, not what you think others expect you to wear. When you align your clothing choices with your own self-image, confidence will follow naturally. And third, mentally reframe what a suit is and what a suit means to you. So what I mean by this is start to see your suit as a tool that will enhance your presence rather than be a restriction. It's a subtle mental shift that really transforms how you feel and helps amplify who you really are. If you pay attention to fit, picking a style lane and staying in it when putting a suited look together, if you keep your suits properly maintained, accessorize smartly, and if you carry yourself with confidence, you will look good in a suit. Now, although it sounds simple when I say it like that, it is a journey. But, it's a fun journey. So embrace it, and you will be able to feel everything that a suit can do for you in life. Thanks again to Genesis for sponsoring this video, and to you, I say, stay tailored.